Every 4 years, over 10,000 athletes from more than 200 nations gather to compete, drawing in billions of viewers for a single event. But the history of this spectacle is not a continuous line. This timeline tracks the Olympic Games from their creation in 776 BCE to today. In this blank span, the tradition stops entirely. For 1,500 years, the Games were banned, abandoned, and effectively erased. What allowed a localized, ancient tradition to survive such a long period of extinction and return as the world's largest shared event? The journey began at this ancient site of Olympia in southern Greece, where the first recorded games were held in 776 BCE. These original events were first and foremost a religious festival. The athletes gathered to honor the Greek god Zeus through athletic competition. To protect the festival, warring city-states followed the Olympic truce. This map shows the neutral travel routes leading to Olympia, where combatants agreed to a temporary ceasefire so athletes could travel safely. It began with a single 192-meter sprint, as depicted on this ancient vase. Over time, the festival grew to include wrestling, chariot racing, and the pentathlon. Participation, however, was limited to free Greek men. Women and non-Greeks were entirely excluded from the main competition. For nearly 1,200 years, the ancient games remained a powerful regional tradition, but one defined by religious devotion and strict exclusivity. That tradition ended in 393 CE, when the Roman Emperor Theodosius I banned the games as pagan rituals, effectively killing the movement. After 1,500 years of silence, the movement found a new champion in Pierre de Coubertin. He was a French educator who believed organized sports could promote global peace. In 1894, he founded the International Olympic Committee, aiming to adapt the ancient festival for the modern world. His efforts led to the first modern Olympic Games in 1896. This photograph shows the crowded stadium in Athens, Greece, during that first successful resurrection. It was a successful proof of concept, but it was still far from a global gathering. Only 14 nations participated, and no women were allowed to compete. Coubertin had rebuilt the framework, but for the Olympics to survive the 20th century, the event needed to expand far beyond its exclusive roots. That expansion truly started with the competitors themselves. Women were officially allowed to compete for the first time in 1900, as seen in this early photograph of a tennis match. The franchise grew again with the launch of the Winter Olympics in 1924, bringing winter sports, like the speed skating shown here, into the Olympic fold. To symbolize this growth, Coubertin designed the interlocking Olympic rings, with 5 colors representing the unity of the 5 inhabited continents. Organizers also introduced the torch relay as a symbolic bridge between the ancient and modern games, physically carrying a flame from the ruins of Olympia to the new host city. Television broadcasts eventually took these stories global. Jesse Owens became a household name across the world for his performance in 1936. Audiences watched as athletes reached new heights, such as Nadia Comaneci, who scored the first perfect 10 in gymnastics. Including professional athletes pushed these limits even further, leading to the rise of competitors like Michael Phelps, the most decorated Olympian of all time. Today, the Games continue to adapt by adding contemporary sports like skateboarding, ensuring they remain relevant to new generations. This constant adaptation, through new demographics, media, and seasonal expansions, is what grew a fragile revival into a permanent fixture on the global stage. The shift is complete. A highly restricted religious tribute to Zeus has become a secular, multi-billion-dollar celebration of human potential. The Games outlasted the Roman ban, world wars, and political boycotts, proving more resilient than the very borders and ideologies that once stood in their way. The modern Olympic motto captures this spirit: faster, higher, stronger, together. The Olympics endure because they provide a rare, recurring moment where nations set aside conflict to measure human potential on a single, shared stage.